Well, this is the reserve at Jordan Lake. We're going to go take a look at a little change we made at the landscaping by the lake so that people could see the water again after all the bushes grew up that the birds brought the seeds in from. And some, of course, were bushes that were landscaped in there but that got too large over time. The entrance could be dressed up. I weed-eated this just because I thought it needed it, but I'd like to see it as a very nice perennial flower bed. It probably cost about $500 to do that, but it would look nice. And you can look at my wife's flower beds on the internet. I'll give you the link. And you can look at all the perennials that she has. We spent a lot of time doing it, but the maintenance is not too bad. Now, when you drive into the reserve, you can see through the whole 1,000 feet Jordan Lake, because all of the tall bushes have been removed. We'll take a closer look. We've also weed-eated all around the pond so that that looks nicer now too. I would suggest cleaning up all of this downed and dead timber that is in the bushes behind the houses while still leaving a screen to block the view of the houses from Freedom Lane, because as we know, there's so many criminals now running up and down our roads. But don't worry, Adams County Sheriff needs something to do. They don't like to do anything, actually. So I would remove all of this brush that's underneath and all the dead timber that's underneath so that, you know, this would look nice, but it would still retain the screening from the road. I did cut down all the dead trees. Oops, there's one I didn't cut down. Well, you can't see that one from the road, but we'll cut that one down. Just so that it looks better. Just so that it looks better. Here's a little bit closer view of the lake, and you'll notice I've taken all of the bushes off the berm. I've done some weed eating along the docks and the walkways and made room for the guys that bring the docks up to put them below the high berm. We do have a low spot. I put some boards in. Mr. Scheckman has suggested that we make a permanent low water crossing. I talked to Jeff about it because I found his rock that he seems to have extra. And we talked about, when he gets done, taking the excess and making stepping stones in here as a low water crossing, which will fit the motif of the place. Here's Morgan's place. I've weed-eated around his dock, removed the bushes from the berm. I've tried to cut down the stumps as low as I could so that it could be mowed or weed-eated easily again. I don't think your lawnmower contractor is going to take care of this. I'm going to propose doing it and continuing the cleanup in the front next year. I found a lot of asparagus right at the edge of the water and cattails and on the berms. So here's the stots. I haven't done much weeding right around their dock, just up to it. Got some more work to do before I finish. some of the branches might be in the way for the view from your property. So if you let me know if you see anything that you'd like done, I'll do it. No big deal. I live right close. Now there's the next time you see this, hopefully I'll have all those bushes removed and you'll be able to see the water and the berm, which will look like that's berm, but it'll be right there. It'll be the Hughes' berm right on this side. So I hope that you're satisfied with my work. It's interesting to look at the place now from the other side of the lake with the binoculars, because you can see all the houses and the yard, the lawns, and the property. So whatever you would like to do in the future, I'll be glad to do it. So going back the other way, there's the Scotts again. This was Lydell's little berm here. And I'm moving towards Sheckman's and Jeff's and Morgan's, which are all at the east end of the property. So there you have it. A nice sunny day on Jordan Lake. Well, it turns out we got a sunny day, so I thought I'd take a few more pictures because I've about finished trimming the trees at Hughes's and taking all the bushes off the boundary. So if you look at the house from the west window on the left, you could look out and see the cleaned berm, and you should be able in this picture even to see the Rubbermaid box that's out there. I didn't take the trees out, I just trimmed them up. They do block the view a little bit, but we now have, I don't know, I must have taken 20 or 25, 30 truckloads of brush out of here. Not that many, but quite a few. So I've got to rake it one more time, run the weed eater over it one more time. But where I'm standing now is the path. I'm walking along the path, and the bushes, the privet, did come up right to this path. In fact, my arm would be rubbing against it if it were still here, but it's gone. So I've gone 20-25 yards in, and I still have to remove a little bit of the dead trees that had fallen in these bushes. I got most of it, but there's a little bit more to take out, and I'll get that pretty soon, probably today. and then I'll pick up my boards and that'll be it. The fellas came and moved the boat dock before I was actually finished out here, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a little weed eating now and try to get a little more space around the canoe weed eated. And I'll rake that up, and we should be good to go for this year. And then next year we can maintain it and perhaps do a little bit more weed eating, like along this dock area, just to keep the stuff from growing up on the boardwalk that goes out to the dock. So here we are, and a little bit of slash to pick up here, but pretty much done. So that's pretty good. Okay. Hello, I'm Mark Johnson, and I hope you got a good look at the video and was able to tell what I had done. Unfortunately, we didn't take any video before we started, so it would have been nice to see that. I'm going to propose spending about 10 hours a week next year maintaining the weed control and doing anything special that you might want. But I'd also like to entertain the idea of putting a flower bed at the entrance and getting rid of all the unsightly dead branches and timber that's laying on the ground in the woods that surrounds the property between the road and your homes. And I think it would look a lot nicer and make a much better impression. So that's what I'm going to propose, and of course we'll work on that low water crossing with Jeff with his extra rock, and if you have any other suggestions, I'd be glad to take care of whatever you would like to have done. Thanks.